This is another view of the Gary and Western Martin Luther King Bridge. This is the youngest bridge that was built along the whole High Line, being constructed on or around 1961. I believe it was the foundations for the bridge were at least laid down in 1961. Before 1961, or maybe even before 1960, this street did not exist. Past the High Line, it was filled in. Now this is what I saw on Google Earth when the map was updated. I seen that it was all mulched up here, and you can actually see the industrial spur that used to cross here. It's still in the street for now anyway. Those tracks came all the way across the street and accessed the property on the other side of that white fence. So here we are at the spur here. You can see, if you look up, you can see the old track bed for where that spur used to lay. And we're going to be walking that to be able to access the High Line. All right. I don't know where all this mulch comes from. I believe this is work that NIPSCO has done. This was theorized by myself and an acquaintance on one of the railroad forums that I use. He always gives me great information. I ask a lot of questions. I know I'll probably get on his nerves, but I seen this on the updated map and I was like, what the hell? I got to come out here and see this. You see how it crosses Martin Luther King? And they just paved over the track. I'm looking for a year on the track. I don't know if I can find it. It says U.S. Steel 1923. Now, that doesn't mean that this industrial spur was here in 1923. It means that wherever these rails were before, they probably was repurposed for this particular industrial spur here. We'll go ahead and swing the camera around slightly. So this is the Gary and Western over Martin Luther King. Excuse me. It's not the longest bridge on the line, but it's one of the longest. I think that title goes to 5th Avenue. So we're going to be walking the rest of the way here. So here we go. This is the first time I've ever been to walk up this spur. It probably has never been cleared like this since the spur was in use. And I've been trying to find information about when the spur came out of use, but I've been unsuccessful trying to figure that out. Now, I'm not really sure how long these rails have been pulled up. Just interesting to see that the plates are still on the railroad ties. All this mulch over here stinks. There's nothing but swampland back there. There's the High Line up there. What I wouldn't kill to come back here back in the day to film trains using the High Line. To me, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, I'm a fan of the other rail lines, of course, but... Alright, we finally made it past this long-ass, stinking line and pile of mulch. And the spurs, railroad spurs, are actually exposed again here. I actually thought that this rise here would be a lot steeper than what it is. But it's actually a very gentle rise. I'm not sure what the percentage of the grade is here, but it's very easy to walk up. Here we are. We nearly made it to the top of the grade, and I just really wanted to show you all, you know, what it looks like from this location. We have some tree people over there. I'm gonna go ahead and keep walking. All right, here we are on the top of the grade. All that noise you hear is Indiana Sugars. which you can barely see through these weeds here. Now, if I came here during the summer, you would not be able to see any damn thing back there. All right. I am amazed that this is still here. Now, I wonder why they ripped up the tracks from Martin Luther King to this point right here, but didn't rip up the switch point that's up there. Let's go down there. Now, anybody that knows Gary Railfan knows that this is the type of stuff that I live for here. Look at this. There's actually two of these on the line. The other one is over there by the old Tolliston team track, way on the west side, way far away from this spot. It's amazing that these things are still up here. Jackpot! It's a switch up here. There's still a switch here. Like, I am totally geeking out right now. Hold on, let me back up. Switch here. I got to show you. Look at this. Green and white. Look at this. This is fabulous. This is fabulous. I don't know. The actual switch is still standing on the Gary and Western. So that way will be east, coming off of Martin Luther King. We come this way, and there's the switch. It's a lock over here. Holy shit. Look at that lock. Crazy. I wonder who it belongs to. I almost don't want to touch it. Wow. I love me some old railroad infrastructure. This is very, very nice. What a surprise for me. Holy hell. Look, the bars are still on it. Wow. Is it still connected to the track? Yep, it is. This switch is still connected. Wow. This switch is still connected. Crazy. Crazy. All right. Y'all can see me have my geek out moment. Gary and Western, baby, never ceases to amaze me. So we're gonna say bye to that switch for the day, and we're gonna continue to head east. My goal was to reach 5th Avenue. So we're gonna try to attempt to get as far as I can on this branch. Just wanted to show you guys what this vegetation looks like up here. Like, this is very rough stuff here. Your thorns poking you, and big ass bushes and trees all everywhere. And like this area of the High Line is more overgrown than even the other areas where I've been to already. So I'm really just trying to take a look around, see have I missed anything important. And I don't think I have. If it's this impossible to walk this line, and the vegetation hasn't even grown all the way back yet. You can imagine how it'd be trying to walk this line during the middle of the summer. Or in August, oh man. And you see that impossible shit over there? That's why I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get through, be able to get to the bridge. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we are now on top of the Dune Park Branch Bridge over Martin Luther King Drive. I had to fight to get up here, y'all, so I hope you appreciate this shit. I would have came up here anyway, whether y'all wanted me to or not. Woo. Now this bridge has metal under it, so I feel comfortable walking across the middle. But if I do feel in doubt, I will go ahead and jump on those rails. Very cool. There are a couple trouble spots on the bridge here. So you got a hole right there. Pretty massive holes over here. And I'm thinking the bridge on 5th Avenue probably is in this same condition. The walking planks there, dry rotted and deteriorated. And ladies and gentlemen, we have made it across the bridge. I feel quite proud of myself, actually. Here we go. I got it. It says 1961. Now, my experience by walking through this vegetation in this area today has made me understand that I would not be able to walk the High Line to Alabama Street. So, but we're still going to go there. Okay, ladies and gents, excuse me, trying to clear some of this vegetation up. We are on the Gary and Western Bridge that traverses the Wabash 4th District. We are on the eastern terminus. We'll be facing in the westward direction, which would be westbound travel for trains. We're actually looking directionally southwest, kind of southwest. I can just imagine these big thundering locomotives slowly coming down this way. Can you imagine this in the steam days? Goodness gracious. Must have been a sight to see. Let's move the camera a little bit. Try to see if we can swing it on around for you so get some of this wall action here. Excuse me. Wall action there. Wall action there. Let's move on to 7th and Alabama. Before we go from the Gary and Western over Wabash, I wanted to try to find the location of the switch off the Gary screw and bolt switch, and the where the switch stood, or possibly it could have stood. And I believe it was quite immediately after this bridge, which is still up there. You can see that right there. And you can see old timber here that fell off. You can also see how the embankment gets wider. There's a piece of timber where I'm pointing right there on the ground, and there is no trace, where that signal or where that switch would have been. It wasn't a signal. The Gary and Western was dark territory, so it wasn't a signal, it was just a switch. Look how thick this vegetation was. Now, last summer when I came through here, all of this was so overgrown, you couldn't see any of it. So even now, with all of this stuff here, like, it's amazing that you can even still see anything at all. So we're heading northeast. But this would have been where Indiana Harbor Belt came off of the High Line to service Gary Screw and Bolt, which would be behind this vegetation here. I would continue to walk down here for the Gary Screw and Bolt, but we're leaving the main line, and I really don't want to do that. So one last look at this. There's the Gary Screw and Bolt spur there. Stunning. Here's another view of the High Line from the ground in the valley in Gary. And it does look like people have been climbing the embankment here, dumping garbage. There are also some places on the embankment where the embankment has collapsed, or partially eroded, I should say, not collapsed. You see it. There are a couple of spots on the High Line that looks like that. It's not, a plague. The embankment was well built, but like I said, this is what happens when you have 30-something years of neglect. You don't take care of it, it just falls apart. Okay, after a long and serious walk, we made it to 7th and Alabama. This is the Gary and Western Bridge over 7th and Alabama Street. Was erected so that workers who worked at Gary Screw and Bolt could be able to access the factory without having to go to 5th Avenue. They could just cut down 7th Avenue here and just come through the embankment. But here we are. Now, once upon a time, not too long ago, you were still able to drive your car through this bridge. But you see they put those concrete K-rail looking things blocking the right of way under the bridge. And contrary to what that sign says up there, it says $100 reward for information on illegal dumping at this site. Shit. You see all this garbage out here. I'm going to try to get up there if I can. But from the other side, not this side. Oh. See, it's not much of a bridge. It's very thin. I believe it was New York Central that was in charge of constructing this bridge here. And they agreed with the people that there should be a bridge here for the factory workers. But you see how thinly built the right-of-ways are, which means they really didn't spend a lot of money. Plus, they made it out of wood pile. It's not of the sturdy or steel frame construction that we've seen before. It's wood pile. They didn't want to spend a lot of money on this bridge. And as a result of it being a wood pile bridge, its deterioration or its structural capacity has probably diminished a lot. It's probably a lot of dry rot in that wood. You know, I mean, it probably still could hold up a freight train, but I wouldn't trust it. Made it to the top of the 7th and Alabama bridge here. You can see there are no tracks on this bridge. They have been removed. I don't know when they were removed, but obviously they are not here. So this is the bridge on 7th and Alabama, ladies and gentlemen. The bridge, Gary and Western, over 7th and Alabama. Yeah. And here is the Gary and Western bridge over 5th Avenue. It's cool. It actually says New York Central on that bridge there. I don't know if you can see it on this phone, but it says New York Central right on the side of that bridge. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we about reached the end of today's excursion. All right, so we're standing on top of the Gary and Western over 5th Avenue, South Shore Line, and the B&O here, and the city track. So I just want to show you guys, we're looking north here. This side would be Alco siding, okay? It was a passing siding, all right? It was, wanted to show you all. See, because all of this is overgrown back here, you can't really see it, but there was a switch up there that split the track into two, okay? So this side would be the main line, which would be the easternmost side of the bridge. That would be the Gary and Western main line that connected to the Dune Park Branch, which was back that way somewhere, all right? But this was Alco passing siding. They called it Alco because American Locomotive had a plant that was back here. It's blocked. The view was blocked by the toll road. All right, but that's why they called this Alco, because it was the closest. Well, I don't know why they called it Alco. I've been trying to figure that one out, honestly. I don't know why they called it Alco, but that's what they called it, Alco siding. And it also went onto, and I'm gonna plug this on the map. That little Scott siding, it was a turnoff that came off of the Gary and Western and went back to the west to Virginia Street. And I believe it was a freight depot back there, at a station back there that Indiana Harbor built called Scott. But here we're standing on top of 5th Avenue for all intents and purposes. Really quickly here. I want to show you all this, okay? So you see that track? It's coming across 5th Avenue there. That spur went to Edwin Bates Steel, was sat back here, where that blue building is. And that is going to be probably one of my next excursions, or next to next excursions. I'm going to be going down that track there to see coming across 5th Avenue and going behind that property back there and exploring the industry back there.